I was 28 years old, working as a marketing manager at Smith & Company, a prestigious advertising firm in New York City. I loved my job and I was good at it too. I had a team of 5 people reporting to me and we worked together like a well-oiled machine. Our campaigns were always on point and our clients loved us. Before we continue, please let me know where you're listening from. It would be nice to feel closer even if we're physically apart. Also, don't forget to like. It will help YouTube to show this video to so many people who need to listen to my story, and leave a comment. Share your thoughts about this story. Let's have a fair and open discussion so we can learn from each other here on this channel, and don't forget to subscribe for more of this content coming your way. Enjoy listening. My name is Rachel and I've always been a hard worker. I put in extra hours, made sure my team was happy and delivered results. My boss Emily was tough but fair. She pushed us to be our best and I respected her for that. But there was one person in the office who made my life hell: Olivia. She was a coworker, a peer, and she was jealous of my success. She would often undermine me in meetings, question my decisions, and spread rumors about me. I tried to ignore her, but it was hard. One day, Emily called me into her office, looking stern. My heart sank. "Rachel, I'm afraid I have some bad news," she said, her voice firm but apologetic. "We've been going through some financial difficulties and we have to let some people go. Unfortunately, your position has been eliminated." I was shocked. I asked her why, and she told me that Olivia had been complaining about my performance, saying I wasn't a team player, and that I was holding the team back. I couldn't believe it. Olivia had been sabotaging me all along, and now she had succeeded in getting me fired. I left the office, feeling defeated and angry. I knew I had to do something, but I didn't know what. As I walked out of the building, I saw Olivia smiling at me, looking smug. That was the moment I decided to take matters into my own hands. I would get my revenge and it would be sweet. That's when the idea struck me. I would start my own business and I would poach Smith & Company's clients. I would show them all that I was better than them and that I didn't need them to succeed. I went home, feeling a sense of determination I had never felt before. I started brainstorming ideas, making lists, and researching my competition. I knew it wouldn't be easy, but I was ready to put in the work. And so my journey began. I would rise from the ashes, and I would make sure Olivia and Smith & Company regretted the day they ever crossed me. I spent the next few days researching and planning. I looked into the market, identified potential clients, and created a business plan. I knew I had to move fast before Smith & Company realized what was happening. I decided to name my new company Rise Marketing, a nod to my determination to rise above the ashes. I registered the business, created a website, and started building a social media presence. My plan was to target Smith & Company's existing clients, offering them better services and rates. I knew it wouldn't be easy, but I was confident in my abilities. I had years of experience and I knew what worked. I started reaching out to potential clients, sending out emails and making phone calls. I networked with old contacts, letting them know about my new venture. Slowly but surely I started to get responses. One of my first potential clients was a big-name fashion brand. They had been working with Smith & Company for years, but I knew they were looking for a change. I scheduled a meeting with their marketing director and I was determined to win them over. As I prepared for the meeting, I couldn't help but think about Olivia. I imagined her sitting at her desk, smugly thinking she had gotten rid of me. But little did she know I was just getting started. The meeting with the fashion brand went well. I presented my ideas, showcased my expertise, and highlighted the benefits of working with Rise Marketing. The marketing director was impressed and I left the meeting feeling optimistic. Over the next few weeks, I landed a few more clients. They were smaller than the fashion brand, but they were a start. I knew it would take time to build my business, but I was determined to make it happen. As my business grew, I started to notice the impact it was having on Smith & Company. They were losing clients and their reputation was starting to suffer. I knew it was only a matter of time before Olivia realized what was happening. And then one day I received an email from an unknown sender. It was a job posting from Smith & Company. They were looking for a new marketing manager, and the description sounded eerily familiar. It seemed like they were looking for someone to replace me. I smiled to myself, knowing that Olivia was probably behind the posting. She was trying to fill the gap I had left, but she wouldn't find anyone as good as me. I decided to take a closer look at the job posting and maybe, just maybe, I could use it to my advantage. I studied the job posting carefully, looking for any weaknesses or potential areas of exploitation. It seemed like Smith & Company was desperate to fill the position, and I knew I could use that to my advantage. I decided to apply for the job, but not in the way they expected. I created a fake resume and cover letter, highlighting my experience as a marketing manager at a fictional company. I tailored my application to fit the job description perfectly, making sure to include all the keywords and buzzwords that would catch Olivia's eye. As I submitted my application, I couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement and anticipation. I knew Olivia would be the one reviewing the applications, and I was eager to see her reaction when she saw my fake credentials. A few days went by and I received an email inviting me to an interview. I accepted, knowing it would be a chance to get inside Smith & Company and gather more information about their current projects and clients. The interview was scheduled for the following week, and I spent the time preparing my fake persona. I created a backstory, practiced my responses to common interview questions, and even came up with a fake name, Emily Wilson. The day of the interview arrived and I put on my best Emily Wilson persona. I walked into the office confident and poised and greeted Olivia with a smile. She didn't recognize me and I knew I had her fooled. The interview went smoothly and I answered her questions with ease. I took note of the projects they were working on, the challenges they were facing, and the clients they were struggling to retain. I left the office feeling satisfied, knowing I had gotten the information I needed. As I walked out of the building, I couldn't help but feel a sense of accomplishment. My plan was working and Smith & Company was about to get a rude awakening. Over the next few days, I waited anxiously for the interview results. I knew I had nailed the interview, but I couldn't be sure if I had gotten the job. Finally, I received an email offering me the position of marketing manager at Smith & Company. I accepted the offer, knowing it would give me the inside track to sabotage the company from within. As Emily Wilson, I started working at Smith & Company, gathering information about their current projects and clients. I made sure to keep a low profile, avoiding any interactions with people who might recognize me. My plan was to gather as much information as possible, identify areas of weakness, and then strike. I would use my knowledge of the company's inner workings to sabotage their projects, poach their clients, and ultimately bring the company to its knees. I worked diligently, taking notes and gathering intel. I identified key clients who were unhappy with the service, and I made sure to cultivate relationships with them. I also discovered areas where the company was vulnerable to sabotage, and I made mental notes of how to exploit those weaknesses. As I worked, I couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction. I was getting closer to my goal and Olivia was none the wiser. She thought she had hired a new marketing manager, but in reality she had just given me the keys to the kingdom. My plan was coming together perfectly. I had the inside track and I knew exactly how to use it to my advantage. Smith & Company was about to face a reckoning, and I was the one who would bring it about. But just as things were going according to plan, I received a surprise visit from Olivia's assistant. She asked to see me in Olivia's office and I knew something was up. I walked into Olivia's office, feeling a sense of trepidation. What did she want? Had she discovered my true identity? I walked into Olivia's office, my heart racing with anticipation. What did she want? Had she discovered my true identity? Olivia looked up from her desk, a mixture of confusion and concern on her face. Emily, I need to talk to you about the Thompson account, she said, referring to one of our biggest clients. I listened intently as she explained that the client was threatening to leave us due to some issues with our campaign. Olivia asked me to come up with a plan to win them back and I knew exactly what to do. I presented a plan that looked good on paper but was actually designed to fail. I knew that the client would be disappointed, and it would ultimately lead to them leaving Smith & Company. As I expected, the client was not impressed with the plan and they ended up leaving us. Olivia was furious and I could see the panic in her eyes. She knew that losing the Thompson account would be a huge blow to the company. But I wasn't done yet. I had one final trick up my sleeve. I had been secretly working with the client, and they had agreed to sign with Rise Marketing once they left Smith and Company. As Olivia stormed out of the meeting room, I couldn't help but smile. My plan had worked perfectly. Smith and Company was falling apart and Rise Marketing was on the rise. I packed up my things and quit my job, revealing my true identity to Olivia and the rest of the company. The look on Olivia's face was priceless as she realized she had been outsmarted. I walked out of the office feeling victorious. I had gotten my revenge and I had built a successful business in the process. Rise Marketing was here to stay and Smith and Company would never be the same again. Thank you for listening to my story. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this coming your way. Your support means the world to me, and I'm excited to share more stories of triumph and transformation with you. Until next time, stay strong and keep rising.